Welcome to part 1 in the build series for the 148 Tamiya F-16. I'm starting out by just sanding out the details to the cockpit because we're going to be adding the Quinta Studio details. Yeah, this should be dark gold gray and not light gold gray. Big difference. I'm going to be repainting this with Mr. Color 35. Found that matched the Quinta Studio details perfectly. So to apply the instrument panels, all I'm doing is just putting a little bit of a dab of Wolverine PVA glue and just kind of moving around. And right there you can see how much of a difference in color the instrument panels are compared to light gold gray, the wrong color, which, yes, we will be fixing. The PVA glue works really well for this because it does give it enough hold, but it gives you plenty of time to just move it around and position them just right. Now for the ejection seat. And yes, I painted this one wrong as well, in the light gold gray where it should be Mr. Color 35 or a dark gold gray. Now, putting these in place is just the same as working with the other stuff, just this has a surface that has to conform to, so you do have to kind of press it in place a bit. Alright, now to paint some details. I don't know if I was having too much caffeine that day or not enough, but not my best work. Good news is we're gonna do it again, do it over anyway, so. Now for slip up number 2. There's a pad that's underneath the Quinta decal, and I'm not sure which it's supposed to be. It's probably supposed to be removed and just have this, or be a different color and then have the black over it. I don't know. So I just decided to paint that black, and so it just kind of blends in. But yeah, hopefully you're learning from my mistakes in this. Yeah, I know what some of you are thinking. Man, that's some ugly paintwork, but don't worry. In the end, it's gonna look good. We'll blend it in, make it look nice. Now to work on those pesky intakes. Starting out with some Mr. Filler, and I'm just putting that into the little bit of the seam that you have in between the two halves going together. Don't forget the forward portion. That's the point that's actually going to be more visible. So now to wash the ejection seat, I'm using Citadel Nuln oil and just applying liberally to all the parts. Make sure to not put too much and remove the excess. Otherwise it can be a little bit tricky if it's been on there for a while. Now to sand the filler that we were using before. These AK sanding sticks come in very handy for this. Now to glop on some Stynylrez res in white. Has some good ability to kind of level, but we're probably gonna still need to do some sanding after the fact. With this, I've also been experimenting with a mix of Stynylrez and Future, and just trying to have that globbed on and just have it run down and see if it gets into a good leveling and filling setup. It's been pretty good. When I first started doing this, I forgot to work on the forward section. I focused primarily on this one, but the forward section is the one that's going to be seen more readily. So what I'm going to do is just paint the two halves, and so I can get some good coverage in there, and then glue them together. Then you just follow up with the primer, with putty and primer, and just make sure those seams are eliminated. The same process that we looked at earlier. As you can see, there's a bit of ejector pins and whatnot on the gear doors and the gear legs. Not sure if they're really going to be seen, but I'm going to take the time to fill them. And I'm just using some UV glue and let it kind of flow into those divots. And then once it looks kind of in the right spot and set up, I'm going to blast it with the UV light, and ipso facto done. Here is the end result of the cockpit and ejection seats with the proper color, Mr. Color 35, and matched really well. All I had to do is paint it with that, and then just repeat the steps that we showed earlier. And then our seamless intake. Stay tuned for the next video where I'm going to go in and see if this Tamiya kit just falls together.